Yo, everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of IZM Radio. Glad to have everybody tuning in. I am your gracious host, Tariq Nasheed. Let me play an advertisement real quick.
This is the Fortune 500 marketer, Musa Ali. Are you an entrepreneur looking to brand your business, or are you looking for ways to level up your own personal brand to create a larger reach? Well, join me in Oakland, California on February 10th, and I'll give you the secrets on how to build a multi-million-dollar brand. To purchase tickets, go to universitybrand.eventbrite.com. Again, that's universitybrand.eventbrite.com. Spots are filling fast, so don't miss out on this opportunity to take your business and life to the next level.
You hear that? To the next damn level. Y'all out here bullshitting, and that brother's trying to take y'all to the next level. You understand me? So y'all need to go to that seminar and get some game and learn something. This is a new damn year. Y'all out here doing 2017 shit. Y'all out here tricking off bottles at the club, messing with old elderly strippers and shit. Also, today's show is brought to you by the Vital Card. Where am I hearing? I'm hearing myself. We fucking. Who is this white man coming in the office? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Is that the? Oh, excited for you. I was watching you on my phone.
Oh, we got somebody in the office. Hold on. Let's see who that is real quick. We got a visitor. It might be the feds and follow me and Isaiah. And Isaiah looking
too late, boy. Don't even play. I just want to make sure you get her out the way.
Man,
we don't need no sisters. We need witnesses.
Yes, indeed. And today's show is also brought to you by the Vital Card, the credit card that pays you to share. Plus, earn cash backs on all transactions. Get paid cash for each person you refer. That's right. Share cash rewards. The Vital Card is proudly backed by Visa. Go to jcsvitalcard.com, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me introduce my co-host here. We have Miss Bree over here looking lovely as usual.
Ooh,
yes, indeed. Yes,
hey,
indeed.
Guys, I missed y'all. Did y'all miss me?
Yes. And we have Miss Layla Lopez over here. How are you, Layla?
I'm good. Me and Bree are dressed alike with
the
lipstick.
With the red lipstick.
I know. What are the odds of her coming in with a red lip?
We never wear red lipstick, by the way.
Now we got to kiss.
Never.
No, yeah.
Oh, she been trying to think of any reason to kiss me.
I know.
Any reason.
Man, the fans would love that. And we got my brother. Finally got my brother in here.
Yay.
Mr. Isaiah Washington, man. Acclaimed actor thespian. How are you, brother?
Man, you should have sent Uber for me, man. You know good damn well it's too hot out here to be driving. I start to turn around, man. I start seeing all those Ronald Reagan signs. I start getting nervous. I'm like, Simi Valley. Oh, this is a trick. This ain't no really. I start getting nervous. I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe this is not really Tariq telling me. It's a setup.
Oh, no.
The last 20 minutes of drive out here, man, I'm having some really unthinkable thoughts.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Damn.
I was like, I don't have my guns. I have nothing.
I know. This is brother
like,
Isaiah.
Y'all trying to set a brother up.
Isaiah's gun game is on fleek, man.
Okay.
My man's gun game is on fleek. Have you done any kind of military stuff before?
No, I was in the military for 4 years.
Okay. I knew something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you got were you a Marine? What were you, man? You on some Rambo shit, some of the stuff. I mean, this dude.
I would love to say I love guns.
What I am now have been, I would say, a gun enthusiast. And I think that's something that a lot of people are not aware of. There are a lot. I mean, I've been around, guns since I was 13 with BB guns, Crossman BB guns. You know what I mean, pellet guns. So it's just, the other side of the gun conversation, particularly with people of color, is that a lot of people train with them like it's a martial art.
Yeah.
It's a form of art. It's like to be able, like no different from golf, same level of addiction or playing a video game. It's like I have a target that I have to hit, and I need to try to see if I can hit it in the same place or better from certain distances. And it's not easy.
Now, how old were you when you were in the military?
I went in when I was 18. I turned 19. Yeah, I went in when I had joined early.
Now, where'd you grow up, Isaiah?
Houston, Texas.
Word, I didn't know that.
Oh.
Yeah. I did not know. So, because you were just down, and we were talking a few weeks ago. You're down in New Orleans, so that's right next to home. Yeah. So, yeah, you familiar with that area?
I get a lot of love in New Orleans.
Man.
I mean, I have a lot of people. My cousins and relatives are obviously Virginia, Texas, and Louisiana.
Okay.
So I'm always feeling good. I always feel at home when I'm in Louisiana.
So when you come out here to Hollywood?
I came out here. I followed my wife here.
Okay.
I never wanted to move to Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
But I fell in love with my wife, met her at Georgia's. Remember George's on Melrose?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
And a friend of mine, a comedian named Reggie McFadden, who was hot at the time. He was on the Living Colors.
I remember Reggie McFadden. Yeah, he's a real funny dude.
Mm-hmm. And really good friends out of New York. And he wanted me to stop by George's and meet this beautiful woman that he thought I would be interested in. And I'm like, man, I am on my way to a Janet Jackson listening party. I just did Clockers. I'm like, I'm the man right now. I'm not going to be the man forever, but right now I'm hot.
Yeah.
And I have my short list. I was like, I'm trying to get to Janet Jackson listening party.
That's funny.
And he said, well, okay, but before that, and I always have my little sagging pants. People thought people sagging as new. I was sagging then.
Oh, yeah.
The Timberland boots, had on backwards from Brooklyn, whatever. And I would always rent this 5.0 Mustang.
That was the shit back in the day. The Mustangs were the
convertible,
shit.
So it was like, that was the car. So whenever I came from New York and would stay here in L.A., that's what I drove. And that is what I was trying to meet Janet Jackson.
You was really trying to get with Janet.
Man, I was trying to get with Janet Jackson.
Dang.
It never happened.
Man.
I get to this dinner and I see this woman and she's been my wife for 21 years.
Oh, wow. Love that. Now, before that, you did Clockers. Was Clockers the first thing you did?
No, it was the second film I did with Spike in Universal Pictures.
Okay.
Back in the early days, Spike had so much power that he would cast the entire movie without even letting the studio know what was going on. He would call me from my apartment. I lived in 231 Claremont in Brooklyn, Fort Greene. He lived in the Circle, like close to the park, Fort Greene Park. And he would call me over to his basement and throw me the script and said, this is what I want you to read. Now, for Crooklyn, I had auditioned for that with Robbie Reed, when Robbie Reed was the most powerful casting director because of his success in Los Angeles. So that was a time when casting directors had the final say.
Yeah.
Not the studios or the producers. It was the casting directors.
Now, you seem like you were trained acting-wise in New York.
No, I did a lot of free acting. You don't get paid in the beginning. So I played the dirt on the floor, whatever, just to be in the room. And at the time, there was a company in New York called the Negro Ensemble Company.
Was that in Harlem?
No, it was, I would say, Midtown.
Okay.
And then there was Theater Row.
Okay.
Which I did Harold Klarman Theater, Playwrights Horizon. So I did a lot of plays, a lot of readings. This was at a time when an actor could be hired to get paid literally like $300, which was a lot of money in early 90s.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of money now to a motherfucker who ain't got it.
Touche.
Yeah.
Where, if someone was auditioning, the casting director would invite me to be the reader. Like if you're auditioning for a part and they wanted me to read all the different parts, instead of the casting director reading, they used to have real actors do that. And they would pay us for it. So I made a lot of money just helping other brothers get jobs that I really wanted.
Yes, indeed.
They
said Isaiah's mic is low. I'm going to need you to talk more in the mic. They're saying the mic is low. Yeah.
Y'all treat me like the last guy?
Yeah, you good. Just I guess let's talk closer. How's that? Let me make sure, because I want my man, he's dropping some good stuff. I want it to be nice. We can hear him, but let's just double check. Let me get this shit on.
Oh, it's just a broke-ass mic.
I know. Broke down. All right, let's say something, brother. Damn.
Say something, brother.
There you go. How's that a little better? That better, y'all? All right. I think that's better. So you did Clockers. You did Clockers with Spike.
Clockers was my second film with Spike. I mean, because of my politics and just because of who I am and because of my mouth.
Yeah.
My mentor always said there was only 3 ways I was going to get into Hollywood. There was only 3 ways I was going to get in. And the first one would be Spike Lee.
Okay.
He said the second way to get in would be Spike Lee.
Damn.
And he said the third way to break into Hollywood for you would be Spike Lee. And that's exactly what happened. I did Crooklyn, I did Clockers, and then after that I did Girl 6.
Really?
Oh,
okay,
I like that movie.
Okay, I never saw that all the way through.
It was like a phone sex operator?
Yeah. Oh, was that the last movie you did with Spike?
No, we did. I went on to do, he offered me He Got Game. I wasn't available at the time. By that time, I had already broken through.
Okay.
I had already became on the short list of black actors to hire.
Right.
And at that time, it was really serious because Don Cheadle and I, we pretty much improvised our way through a lot of doors because at the time the roles were so stereotypical, like they were called a tier. There's like a first tier, second tier, third tier.
Yeah.
Don and I were always like on what we call the second tier actors, working like they were like, well, we like him. He's not scary. He's funny. So let's give him this, and he's not going to embarrass us and tell us how bad this is written. And we wouldn't. We would just go, oh, okay, can I just try this? And I did that. I wrote my parts in many movies.
Who were the first tier people they considered back then?
Well, at the time, it was like George Clooney or Jennifer Lopez.
Okay,
That's what I mean. It's like whoever's the star of the film, like Out of Sight.
Okay.
A lot of that was improvised.
Okay.
In Out of Sight. In Bullworth, a lot of that was improvised. Romeo Must Die, improvised. Get on the Bus, my monologues, improvised. Clockers, improvised. You know, I improvised a lot. And that just, based on the research that I would do for the character, based on the research of the book, because Clockers was based on a book. So I wasn't just making up things. I was just bringing up things that, for the behind the movement. A lot of that that's on the trailer is improvised. It's just based on my research that's just how I've always done it.
Really? So some directors don't like them to improvise. They like you to be right there on the script.
And that's good reason. And that's good reason. Well, we're talking about time restraints. In terms of making major motion pictures 20 years ago, they looked at that as a treasure. Yeah. Especially if you were making it more in depth or more interesting than they had written. Right. A lot of the directors would take the job because they want the job like everyone else. Right. They already know that certain parts may not be as fleshed out, as we would say, as others. Right. So they would hire the best actor they could to just say, no, go and do your job.
Okay.
You know, I just went through that with RZA, in the movie Cutthroat City. The character was written one way. I went in and said, hey, man, what if I try this and what if I do this? And it was something completely 180-degree turn from what it is that what the guy had wrote.
But it worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
And it worked but it has to work in the large.
In the context of
the movie. It can't just be something that's completely.
Right, so you can't be in closets. You're like, hell, why don't I start breakdancing?
Right. I'd
be a breakdancing drug dealer, nigga. That shit be tight, know?
Well, actually, in Bullworth, it was kind of like that because no one knew what the movie was about.
That movie was all over the place.
No one knew what the movie was about. Every day, and then I'm like, oh, Halle Berry is my sister? I didn't know that when you hired me. Yeah. Oh, I'm a crack dealer or a crackhead? Or like, I got a crack baby now. Oh, every day Warren Beatty would give me a piece of paper and go, okay. Wow. We shot that movie for 8 months. Wow. The studio would call Don Cheadle, myself, would call us and ask us, like, what is this movie? And I was like, is this what? 20th Century Fox asking me?
Man.
Go ask Warren Beatty.
Now, have you and Don Cheadle worked in something?
Oh, my God. Yeah, we worked on Bullworth.
Okay.
Together, and we worked on Out of Sight for the first time together. Okay. I've always been a long time fan of Don.
Don, I didn't know. I learned Don was a dancer. Don can dance his ass off. He was in an Angela Winbush video.
Yeah. I have to see that.
You better look at dancing his goddamn ass off.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
He was showing out, and he's like, I'm going to get to be the leading man in this motherfucker.
Oh, my God.
He's powerful brother. Yeah. So a lot of folks, man, got hip to you. You became that dude with Love Jones.
Yeah.
That was the thing that was a real fly. How was the filming that?
That's interesting because the Academy just acknowledged Ted Witcher's work.
Okay.
There will be no Love Jones 2. He made that very clear at the Academy. And they had, the director of Moonlight, Barry Jenkins was the media moderator. And it was really cool. They brought the entire cast back. And the good things, we're all still living, still healthy. And to see the editors and the producers and what that was about. We were just before our time. But I've always felt like that in my career. I always felt like I was 10 years ahead. But I figured that, I'm not about it. I've never tried to be the next Denzel Washington. Right. How can I? He's already Denzel Washington. He'll probably be acting with my daughter. She's 12. Yeah. He's going to be around forever. But I always wanted to do works that I thought would last the test of time. And I'm proud of that one.
They didn't know how to market that movie the right way?
No one did. Yeah. Because it's like, when you, and I said this before, and no offense to the spam lovers, but, when you eat spam every day and somebody offers you a ribeye, you might go, well, I don't know what a ribeye is. Yeah. And I know I've been in that place where I was eating spam every day and someone said, do you want this filet? I thought you were cursing me out. Yeah. I'm like, filet, you want me to fillet what? Yeah. Because, at that time, I didn't know everything all of my life.
And that was 97, right?
This was 96 we did the film. And you have to remember at the time, the money makers were Boys in the Hood
movies,
Menace to Society. I wouldn't just say hood movies, because I lived it.
Oh,
They were very good movies. Boys in the Hood.
Were you in the hood movies?
No.
Okay.
Well, Clockers.
Yeah.
But it was on the tail end. That's why it didn't do as well as the others.
Right.
But Spike wanted to put the button on it with Clockers and say, okay, we're really going to not just deal with the pathology. We're really going to tell this kind of story, and this is really what a gun can do to a body. And it's not pretty.
Yeah.
We're not trying to glorify. Not saying that Boys in Hood were glorifying anything, but they were westerns. They were westerns for our community to give us some kind of sense of empowerment in a different kind of way and make us feel that wow, that's really wrong. But it didn't really change our neighborhoods. It didn't make us go home and want to clean up everything. It kind of made everybody want to feel kind of good about it. The gang behavior, and you're telling my side of the story, because it didn't. I remember on a radio show, and I remember Nia Long. She was shaking. She was so upset. I don't know whether she was crying or she was furious, she was pissed, or she was hurt, or all the above. And we were trying to sell the show, and an actual fan, African American, got on the radio, and we were in New York, and they said, F this movie, man. All y'all doing is sitting up there talking, playing cards. Man, where's the 40s? Where's the BIT? Where the BITC? Where the y'all boring. And we were trying to laugh it off, and but another call and another call and another call.
Dumb nigga shit. That's basically what it was. I see.
Yeah.
That's dumb nigga shit.
Yeah.
Ain't that right, Bree? Ain't that dumb nigga shit? Just say it.
So it was hard. In fact, the soundtrack did so well for Love Jones that it forced the studio to put the movie back in the theaters.
That soundtrack was a monster.
Yeah, because they just didn't know. No one knew how to sell us at that time, because the cognitive dissonance, the stereotypes were so great. They're like, well, how can y'all just not be animals and love and not be vicious, and what are this? Y'all like this is like white? Well, y'all like white people. Y'all intelligent. You speak well, and you love each other, and you're clean. You look like you smell good too. So we broke those. I enjoyed that movie because I like breaking absolute truths.
What do you think about the state of Black Hollywood? Not Hollywood, but Black Hollywood.
There's no such thing. I say it all the time.
No such thing.
Black Hollywood was a pejorative created by Stephen Fetchit. It was a pejorative. It was put on his back when he was on his way out. When they got tired of him driving his car crazy on the studios, they got tired of him being rich and powerful. They got tired of him walking around boasting about his airplanes. The system started calling him Black Hollywood. People don't know the history. You read his story, Stephen Fetchit never really he coined the term to like Kanye West was trying to wear a Confederate flag and make it cool. Well, it backfired. If you know the history, Black Hollywood was a pejorative.
Okay, it was something that was used negatively.
Okay. I mean, think about it. Anything they put black in front of,
they make it negative. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So when people come to me today in the last 20 years and say, well, Isaiah, how do you feel about Black Hollywood? I'm like, well, if there truly was a Black Hollywood that was empowered, we will all be doing what the hell we want to do. We would do the 42 negative confessions and put 10 commandments to rest. It would be, I would probably get to play Moses, and Wesley would be Pharaoh, and Snipes would be Pharaoh, and you could come in and be the, whatever. You know what I mean? We can make that movie. We don't have our ownership. So when people come to me after being here fighting for that, trying to rely on that, there's too much fear of loss. It's not enough connective tissue. I mean, yeah, we have great Oprah, Ava now. Right. We have Tyler Perry doing great, but he's not in Hollywood. He's done everything he's done down in Atlanta. Oprah, when she built her studio, where was it? In the state of Illinois.
There's no studio
not out here.
And you have to understand why. It's just like it's like, okay, territory. It's like they're making money. What happens when one drug dealer comes into a corner
and tries to take over?
What happens?
What if we all stick together, though? What if all the black people of power, Diddy, Tariq, Isaiah,
the keyword was what if?
What if? Because what's going to happen?
But Martin Luther King, Robert F. Kennedy, and John F. Kennedy was trying to stick together too. What happened?
all got their.
Yeah.
So every time we try to sit together, there's someone that goes and use another one of us as an example to remind us that, dude, we can pull a bullet in your head like Emmett Till. Now, if we really, really want to get buck, we have to understand that is going to be the retaliation, but then we ante up. But I don't know if we're really ready for that.
I am.
It's that deep.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it's heavy.
I'm ready.
What do you think about the narrative that they like to push that black movies, quote unquote, don't do well overseas?
That's a lie.
Yeah.
That's a complete
They
lie.
love saying that. By
It's
the way.
again, it's a narrative. It's a narrative that is just not true. I was flown to Turkey with my family, sight unseen. Because of my work over the years, I'm adored, probably more adored in Europe, and the Ukraine, in Poland,
Oh yeah.
all over the world. And here's why: I don't speak English in those countries. All the movies and television shows that I've ever been on, they have I create a job for some person to translate my voice into their native tongue. So when I was in Brazil, people thought like they were prepared for me to be speaking like Pele.
Oh wow.
And they were like, okay. And I started speaking English, and they were like, all I could say was like, tá bom. Or obrigado. And they were like, oh my, but if you did speak Brazil, because they're the voice that whatever actor over the years, 20 years, has been hired solely to match my tonality.
Yeah.
In Portuguese, I would like to meet that guy.
Yeah.
Because that's been my voice in that particular country. So this idea that we don't art is art, man. It's like music.
Oh yeah.
It goes back to empowerment. You know, that drug dealer is not going to let you come into their neighborhood, because there's one thing about black people of color, we tend to take shit over.
Yeah. Once we get in there, we in there.
We tend to do it very well. Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, we tend to do it very well.
Were you ever in one of the Steven Seagal movies? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Which one?
Exit Wounds.
That's what
With
I thought.
DMX.
That's what I thought. That's what I
Exit
thought.
Wounds. Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it working with Steven Seagal?
I am not.
Tell the truth,
I
Isaiah.
knew.
No.
Now, I'm already going to catch a line. I can see the headline. I can already catch a headline on this show now. Like, well, Isaiah says if you really get buck, like really want to get buck, if you really want to get there, get buck, and really sustain that, I don't know.
Brother.
See, that's already going to catch a headline.
Brother.
Isaiah told everybody, it's time to get buck. What does that mean? I bet everybody.
I know.
FBI trying to write that down. Hold on.
I know.
Well, Prodigy is dead. So is that a lyric from Buckshot? Like, what does buck like? Are you bucking at you? That's what's like. They're all confused right now. Like, is that code? Did he said buck 6 times?
I know.
Was it 13 times? Like, what
He
does that
meant
mean?
buck by dancing.
He like, and he
bucking your eyes.
and he's still saying buck. Oh, what does that mean? He do buck. What does he mean?
But no, I'm getting back. I ain't about to leave that. Because I had my sister Claudia Jordan up here, where she had some Steven.
Oh, that's my girl.
Yeah. Shout out to Claudia.
Yeah.
Everybody got a goddamn Steven Seagal story.
Man, no comment.
Oh.
I will say this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
The head of casting back in 1999, 2000, whatever. Anyway, Romeo Must Die did very well. Warner Brothers was really liking me at the time.
Yeah.
And True Crime did very well. Review-wise, it made no money in the box office. Clint Eastwood taking his shirt off killed the movie.
Oh Lord,
that was the headline. Like, keep your shirt on. But he was supposed to
Lord.
be old and broken up. But once you're an icon, nobody really want to see that.
Yeah.
So, and he apologized literally to me that he says, "Sorry, kid, I should have got my shirt on," because that was supposed to be the Oscar-nominated, Oscar-winning performance
He
ever.
fucked it up.
And he did, trying to be sexy. He couldn't handle me being sexy by myself. But Warner Brothers head of casting told me, said, "Isaiah, this is going to be the hardest money you ever make."
Oh wow, they do.
Working with Steven Seagal. And I said, no, I don't do that. I said, I don't do that. I don't want people judging me until they meet me, because anybody can say a whole lot of stuff, but you haven't met me. So if you met me and you feel me and you feel that same way when I walk up the room, then great. Well, she was right.
Oh wow.
She was right. And then some.
Because DMX went in. DMX was like,
If you go back and look at Exit Wounds, there's a scene where my character comes to his boathouse house and wakes him up with a cup of coffee.
Okay.
I did that scene with a tennis ball and a C-stand
Okay.
because they had to remove him from the set.
Oh damn.
He removed from the set because his gun was loaded, and he kept pointing like right at between my eyes.
So he had a real gun.
It was his gun, personal gun,
Oh damn.
and he wouldn't let anybody touch it
Wow.
because he's paranoid.
Wow.
But they was like, "Well, you got your finger on the trigger, and it's loaded, and just point it to the side. Everybody knows it's acting, so just point it to the side." And I kept feeling him pointing right to my eyes. So finally, the armors, the directors, they sent him to lunch, put a tennis ball. And you see, if you go with your movie, and whoa, he pulls the gun. I'm not in the room anymore.
Oh wow.
He's doing it with somebody else. I don't know.
Wow. But
And it was really
like,
fun.
yeah, you were like, fuck that.
I was ready. I was like, well, I was good. I wasn't afraid. I'm like, he's just, what if he's out of his mind? He's not going to hurt me. But I'm like, well, let me load up my Glock.
Right.
This could go both ways.
Yeah,
that was a
It's
conversation.
a real fucking extra wound in this moment.
So you see my character reach for my weapon, but I said you can reach for it, but you can't pull it out. They always say that in Hollywood with black people, you can reach for
But
it,
don't
but
pull it out.
don't pull it out.
Yeah,
You can grab it, but don't pull it out. Never pull it out. I'm gonna say that one more time. You can grab it and hold it, but never pull it out. That's the fear of Hollywood. So
Man.
that's my story with them. But he came back from lunch. We shot the scene.
Okay.
And he came back to set after lunch and was wondering, like, what's going on? And I'll never forget it. He looked at me and says, where you going? I said, I'm going home. And he said, what do you mean you're going home? And they rushed me into my vehicle and got me out of there. And he had to go shoot the scene without me.
Oh damn.
Because he just wasn't being safe. But, there's always a negative, but then there's a positive. But the interesting thing about Steven Seagal?
Yeah.
He's an incredible blues singer and guitarist.
I've seen him sing. He tries to have that down home southern thing.
It works though. In live though. Have you seen it though? It's a trip.
No.
You
That
know
shit
what
is
I'm saying?
trash.
It's trash.
That shit is trash.
You think it's trash?
Yeah, he was like, I'm about to sing a song down here in New Orleans. I'm like, sit your fat ass down with that damn skunk skin lace front you got on. That motherfucker's
Leave it
trash.
to Tyreek to just keep it real.
Isaiah trying to be politically correct with that fucking douchebag. DMX said Steven Seagal came up to his wife. DMX's wife was there. And he was Steven Seagal started talking in some old slave owner slang like, hey there, gal, you sure gonna eat some chicken or some shit.
Yeah,
It was some stupid shit. DMX was snapping. I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
But yeah,
No, I could write a book on that whole experience between DMX and Steven Seagal. It was a trip.
man.
Ooh, I know that was some juicy stuff going
Oh,
on
it's
that
true.
set.
Year 2000. I mean, me rolling around, me sitting in a 68 or 64 Impala with a big painting of his dog, his favorite dog, on the trunk, and we're bouncing literally, lowrider. We're bouncing all over.
I heard
Toronto.
DMX would just buy cars on the fly.
Man, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave us all Yukons. It was a company car. We all had Yukons. Anthony Anderson had Yukon. I had
Oh, yeah,
a
he
Yukon.
was in it.
Everybody had Yukons.
Yeah.
He get Yukons, and he said, man, I ain't sitting on no dog.
No.
And I was like, what's wrong, man? Because we couldn't go anywhere less than 100 miles an hour. We could go to the corner store. He had to drive 100 miles
Oh,
an hour.
damn.
And he went and had 18-inch rims when they weren't, this is year 2000. 18-inch rims were like a novelty. That was like,
Yeah. Niggas was fucking with them 10s.
that was like, it was
You would have
like,
shit
what?
if you had some 10s.
It was like the scene, like he would have 18-inch rims shipped from New York.
Oh, damn.
Have his boys drive them up and put them on the Yukon. I'm like, but X, it's a production car. You gotta give it
Give
back.
it back.
He's like, I'm gonna give it back to him like this dog. I ain't sitting on that factory. Dog, it's bullshit. They got me sitting on factory. He was a lot of fun,
Yeah,
man.
he's
That dude, man.
Now, what
man.
was the most fun you had on a movie set?
Probably with DMX.
Oh,
Believe it or not.
really?
Yeah. In spite of what you heard, that cat. Another thing about him, he used to tease me. He would give me all his Rough Rider clothes. 'Cause I was wearing like skinny jeans back then, skinny pants and Prada. I was doing my fashion thing. Right? Martin Margiela before even Kanye knew about it. Whatever. Right? I was always on that fashion thing because of my wife. And he would always like, man, I don't feel comfortable with you wearing all this stuff. So he would always giving me some Rough Rider jeans, baggy jeans,
clothes.
and some boots. And I'm like, man, I did that in 1991. I'm done with that. I'm done with that. I'm somewhere else. I'm on Rick Owens right now. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. And one day, I always had my cat with me. My cat and my wife. I would be on the road for 3 months.
Yeah.
And we would always check into the Sutton Hotel in Toronto. That's where everybody stayed. And I remember having my cat, and I heard this incredible voice, sound like Levert, R&B voice, singing to my cat. I was checking in. I looked like, what the fuck? Singing to my cat? That's some weird shit. And I looked down. It's Earl Simmons.
DMX was singing to the cat.
With he has a beautiful R&B
Oh my
voice.
God.
Wait. You said Steven Seagal could sing now. I don't know.
Nah, I was being politically correct, and I got called out on it. I should have.
Well, so you saying DMX was singing Levert to the cat?
It said he
I'm a
he was
Doncaster.
it was none of that.
Romeo ain't never been Prince.
It was none of that. It was none of that. It was none of that. It was a beautiful R&B voice, and he has a beautiful gospel voice.
Word.
In fact, and he'll remember this.
Hold up the light.
We used to argue
Praise
about
the
it.
Lord in darkness.
He had an album called The White Album,
Really?
which was all gospel.
Really?
That was already done 18 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
And I said, man, it's beautiful. He wouldn't play it any of it, but he says, at the end of the day, I know I'm going to end up behind the pulpit. And I'm like, yeah, like Malcolm X. Because he was at all-time power at that point.
Oh, yeah, he was the
He
dude
could have
back
led
then.
a nation, you know what I mean? And he just didn't want to do it. And I said, well, why don't you just release it? I said, man. And then he said, because they won't follow me. As soon as if I release this White Album, they won't follow me no more. I already know. That's how bad it is.
And he was right to a certain degree. He was
Yeah.
right. He was right.
He was.
Yeah.
So what is that, man? And if I say this, it's gonna be like Bill Cosby's. Like he said, he got in a lot of trouble. So sometimes we just have to lose a generation. I'm talking to a friend of mine of 35 years in law enforcement, who can't wait to get out of New Orleans. He's been there for 3 years.
Okay.
It's so bad. He said they're killing even more than St. Louis and Chicago combined. Just nobody really talk about it.
Yeah.
And he was a part of Rampart back in the day, Crash.
Out here in LA?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's African American, so he was like, you know what, I can't do this. And when I asked him, he says, why? He says, because I'm killing my own people every night. And he says, I said, well, what do you mean? He says, they are going to fight. They are not going out like, okay, come arrest me. They're fighting for whatever it is that is making their money or whatever it is, and they will fight. And they have every weapon imaginable that the military probably hasn't even seen. They got it right there in New Orleans.
How they getting it? How they getting that shit?
Yeah.
Well, we could always, of course, come on.
Yeah.
But what my point is when you empower a toxic thing that's been made toxic for all these other reasons, that not to get philosophical and educational here, we all seen Hidden Colors. We got it.
Right.
It's a daunting thing. Well, I have a friend of mine, a grown man that's in his 50s, that goes, I'm throwing in a towel. And this is not a quitter.
Yeah.
This is a grown man that survived Rampart, Afghanistan, 2 Gulf Wars, you know what I mean? Tours in the first Gulf War. And he's telling me, I cannot wait to get out of this city.
Yeah, man, it gets real disheartening to see what's going on out there. And, there's a certain way you have to reach people, because some people just want to throw in the towel. And just like with the Hidden Colors thing, I wanted to reach people my way. I bring a lot of nigga shit, but I mix the nigga shit in with a little knowledge. And when I start getting people with the knowledge, I bring more knowledge in there. So I try to use different techniques to kind of reach the next generation. You dig? Yeah. Now, speaking of knowledge and history and stuff, you did some real interesting with the lineage. You trace your lineage going back to Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
That was the thing. A lot of people were talking about that. Did you do that with Skip Gates, or did you do that before Skip Gates?
No, I didn't do it with Skip Gates. In fact, the company, African Ancestry, doesn't get the justice that it's due. Okay. Simply because we're not funded. I say we because I'm on the advisory board, as well as the Mormons have funded, Ancestry.com. I remember doing events, the Golden Globe events or whatever, and parties, and I would have African Ancestry put up a booth, and Ancestry.com people would come and beg to be a part of our booth. But once they got there, like 80 million, so now it's become Ancestry.com is the go-to place for DNA. 23andMe is the go-to place for DNA. But they're not. They're not. Their genome. They're looking for ways to take your DNA, particularly for people of color, to find out how to keep themselves healthy.
Yep.
I'm glad you said
They're not trying to tell you where you came from.
They don't care.
Because they don't have that base. African ancestry, contrary to popular belief and all the negative narratives, I'm going to say this very clearly, AfricanAncestry.com is the only database that has the most accurate ability to pinpoint, if you indeed have some, African lineage to 250 lineages.
Yeah.
In that nation.
Because some of these
Period.
places, some of these places.
Not National Geographic.
Like Ancestry.com, you check at different times and they'll have you from different places. Like I checked one time, I'm from Mozambique, and I checked it again, I'm goddamn Irish.
So it's very difficult.
Really?
Yeah.
I never checked it. I knew
It's
it
been-
was a scam.
Yeah, it's been painful to watch. But again, if there was a Black Hollywood, then we wouldn't be mad.
Exactly. Layla, you never done your ancestry before?
I've never done it because I thought it was a fraud. I always thought it was a fraud. Like my mom, she went on there. My auntie, they was believing all that. I was like, I don't believe that. I'll save my $25.99. Like I'm too cheap for that.
No, African ancestry.
I never believed it. I never did.
And people cry the expense, and I'm like, look, you could spend $300 in a dinner when you're trying to date somebody. So but because of the negative narratives, the thing about our people, most people, is that we tend to believe, unfortunately, everything we read.
or see.
Or see in our social media without getting it straight from the horse's mouth. That's why I can't wait to start my podcast, because I'm going to really go over the last 30 years of my life so people can get a really good understanding of who I'm about, what I'm about, and why. Because I know there's narratives out there that's tried to throw people off and go, well, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, no, it's only if you notice people, every Black woman or woman in power, something always happens where there's kind of derailed. For some reason. Well, that's not happen. That's not an accident. You can understand. They will come knock on your door. And that's really a testament to your reach, to your power.
Do you think when we make moves that will put us, and I'm talking about Black people within the Hollywood system, and when we make moves that will put us in a power position, do you think that they deliberately sabotage that to a certain extent?
No. Here's the trick.
Okay.
If you love me, you love me. If you hate me, you hate me. You're still engaged. Indifference is the killer.
Explain that.
Okay. If you love what I do,
Okay.
you love what I do. If you're hating on what I'm doing, you're going to talk about how you hate what I do, how you hate me. When you don't talk about me at all, when you completely ignore me, ignore your children, ignore a relationship, ignore your plant, don't water it, it what? Dies. So their sabotage is not intentional, like maliciously. They're much more hidden than that. The fact that they are indifferent to what we care about. It's a self-cleaning oven.
Now, in Hollywood, because I was doing an interview the other day, I was talking about
What I mean is they don't care.
Right. Now, the Blade franchise, that saved the comic book movie industry. Literally saved it. Wesley was becoming that dude. What happened?
We saw what happened.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
he can't come back
you can add what other narrative you want, but before the negative narrative, he was building a Black army
down at Georgia,
which is fine. He was on sovereignty, which is a hard thing to sell, and the Moorish community is a hard thing to sell, but there are facts that the people of color that have been on this soil long before Columbus and the slave trade. He had the money.
Yes, he did.
But he had to be making an example out of, and he had to be slowed down. And that's exactly the point that I made about 12 minutes earlier, is that if you notice, every one that seems, and you haven't heard anything crazy about him since.
Yeah.
But why is it that Robert Downey Jr. can go do drugs
Layla.
and then he can come back and be, Iron Man? But he could be heavy on drugs and he just made a hell of a comeback and it's all good. Why is that all good?
Because we will still go and see Iron Man.
Yeah.
Black people still go and see Iron Man, Layla.
And
That's why.
That's why
there's no hope for the
has the
Wesleys
complexion for
or
the protection.
anybody else, because too many of us say one thing in the day,
Yep.
and then by night we fuck Isaiah. He talking all that black shit, man. I'm gonna go see Iron Man. That's a good movie. And my feet hurt. I don't want to think.
Now, if Isaiah was on the pipe, they'd be like, nigga, fuck Romeo Must Die. I don't want to get these DVDs out my crackhead
Right.
This house. This crackhead nigga was in the movie Fuck Love Jones.
I just went through that because I said, something about weaves.
Yeah.
They wanted to take my head off. And I'm like, I asked the question because a sister wanted to take a picture with me, and her track was showing, and I offered to put my hat on her head. No, this is the truth. This is in Atlanta.
You tried to cover her tracks.
No, and I was like, she had a picture. So when she put her thing up, she saw that it was late, whatever. I was getting off late, and she saw whatever she got in her business, but something was off.
Uh-oh.
So we both saw it at the same time, and she had a big ass, I don't know, like a Google. It was like a bigger phone than mine. I got the 6, but it was like a big old iPad phone thing. So it was like a big mirror, so we could see that something was off.
Right.
She completely had a meltdown. She was so embarrassed. And
damn.
I was just trying to console her. I'm like laughing off, like, baby, don't worry about that. Like, I'll put my hat on. Don't even worry. Let's get this picture. I'm just happy that you want to take a picture. But man, I was floored, man. I have a daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know the hair issue. I've been dealing with it all my life. I get it. I grew up with the little white wig holders in my grandmother's house. So I would never go after a sister on that tip. You know what I mean? So when Wendy came at me like that, man, I lost it. I don't like to get into beefs on Twitter, but I'm like, you lying on me, and I'm done with the lie. That's not who I am.
Right.
I was asking a genuine question, and you want to turn my words around.
But Wendy Williams did this?
Yeah, Wendy.
Messy.
Oh, wait, go. I didn't hear about it.
Yeah, she went in on me like that, and I was like, "Wait a minute!" I thought would she follow me on Twitter? I'm like, if you needed some context, and if you thought I was coming off crazy, you see, my tweet was at 1:50 in the morning, motherfucker. So I was grappling with this shit.
Yeah.
This wasn't like I was like man. So and she told me, she said, but then again, she said, well, no, I don't want to put your shit. This is what she said. I don't want to put your hat on. Because my boyfriend, if I post this, my boyfriend see me with your hat on, he might, So I'm dealing with, I'm dealing with self-esteem.
She got a whole lot
right.
going on.
Yeah. That night, I was dealing with self-esteem issues. I was dealing with trying to cover stuff. This woman is inconsolable in the elevator. I'm trying to just get to my room and go to bed.
Yeah.
And now she's almost about to tell me her whole life story. So now I'm sensing that, okay, well, don't want to take the picture because now, wait a minute, are you implying that your boyfriend might
They jump on you,
jump
and
on
pull
you?
the rest of your tracks out. I mean, damn.
Maybe that's what
Yeah.
So all that was, believe it or not, I'm human. I can still get fucked up.
Yeah.
When things happen, I still feel sorry for people. So when I put that tweet out there and I said, "Is it worth it?" I meant that at that moment, based on the experience. It's like, what is it all about? And you know what? I'm gonna get to say this too. Brothers, y'all need to back the fuck up off our women with their hair. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you ain't ever gonna have Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Ever. So don't be mad at Tariq. Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at Leda. Don't be mad at anybody because we have access. Be mad at yourself because you're not producing or promoting yourself in a wholesome way as an African, as an African in America. You know what I mean? So you sitting up here on that slick shit, trying to get somebody's hair down their back, and then you want to see him from the back. So you're not fooling anybody, brothers. All you brothers out there pretending. Yeah, my wife was bald. My wife was this. My wife has had every hairdo from bald to whatever. It's their identity. It ain't have nothing to do with us. But we're not being helpful by putting pressure on them being men of color. We're not being helpful. So for all you brothers out there putting pressure on a woman of color of what she's doing with her hair and you're not paying her bills, step off.
Him. Thank you.
I'm like, you better preach to these Negroes.
I like
Bree.
the paying the bills part.
Preach to these Negroes.
Bree, do dudes
But even if you are paying the bills, I can never say anything to my wife has worn everything on her head but a chill pet. You know what I mean? And she's made it work because she's a beautiful woman.
Yes.
So if the hair is what if the hair is what makes you want to be with a woman, you're with that woman for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, Lord.
Bria, has a dude ever tried to get you to say, hey, take your weave out or whatever?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Take your weave out and then what?
Well, when he
That's
did
what
it,
I'm saying. Like, what you met me with weave. Why do
Right.
why do I need? And the crazy thing with me, I'm a hairstylist, so I like to do a lot of different things. I change my hair a lot. You guys have seen that.
Yeah.
I've only been here 6 months. I've had probably like 7 or 8 different hairstyles and colors and all of that. But it's just like, what is this gonna do for you? My last 7-year relationship, I believe that was a big part of it.
See?
Like now he has a girl with like dreads and like her hair's really, she's had dreads for all her damn life. But the fact that he can see her scalp is like, oh my God.
It's a revelation.
He's like, yeah, I can see her scalp. And it's like, you can see mine too when I take my weave off. Like, it's not a big deal. It's,
You know, I can't wait to get on my podcast. I really want to get back on that because it's a generational thing too.
Oh my God.
And it's kind of like we're back in the 60s. So whatever we are, I mean, if you really, I'm old enough to know that like there were nothing but wigs in my house. When I grew up, I used to play with those little styrofoam heads and draw pictures on my grandmother. She had like 3 wigs. You know, everybody had a wig. So that's not that I don't understand that.
Yeah.
My point is that it can be taboo. We have to be able to have a conversation about this.
Yeah.
As African American men, as black men, we have to be included in it to know that, okay, yeah, why do you feel this way? Or why do you have a problem with that? And you know what I learned too? There is a lot of men wearing wigs.
yes.
And weaves.
Yes.
Not.
Yes.
Layla.
And they look like regular haircuts. that they
Layla.
have on wigs.
No.
So
Layla.
So you saying you did a movie with Steve Harvey? That's what you said? Get back in here, Isaiah ran outside. Get back in here, Isaiah.
Oh, he did go all the way outside. There are wigs that look like your haircut, though.
Word.
Where's my key? That man rich.
Man. But
You out here hurting feelings.
no, Lord. But you know, you brought up
We got the same attorney. You got to be careful.
Oh no! Wow. But you brought up something, man, interesting. You're like we're kind of back in the '60s, and we feel that it's
We're back in the 50s. I just did a movie about it.
Yeah. You know, the activism, you know, the surveillance. That's why Isaiah be calling my ass from block numbers.
No,
Isaiah be calling. No, you don't.
It's
Isaiah
good
be
to
calling me
know
from
in
block-
the year 2018, I finally, after 10 years, unblocked my phone because so many people wouldn't pick up my call.
Yeah, and I don't be
So they
picking up the
get
call. And he would call me over and over. I'd be cussing the motherfucker out. Like, stop fucking calling me. He'd be like, it's Isaiah, nigga.
Block numbers.
I gathered that
I
now,
don't even
Layla.
ask
I get it
Man.
now. And that's something, too, just again, to let me know I don't want to make things difficult for anybody. So if I'm calling you, even to the block phone thing, if you're not picking up my calls because something has happened in the climate where you don't want to pick up the phone because there's so many crazies calling from block phones or trying to sell you some ish.
Yeah.
If I remain immune, you know, like I don't respond to that, then something's wrong with me.
Right.
Then I'm being selfish. I'm not being humane because if I'm causing, even to the point of me having a block phone, if I'm making up someone that I care about, that I want to be in business with, or that I just want to check in on, and you're not picking up my call because of something else,
Right.
that is on the narrative of a block call, then that means I'm part of the problem.
Yeah.
So I got to unblock my phone.
So now, speaking of the 50s and 60s, we got a new movie on TV1. We're bringing it on in. We got a new movie on TV1. It looks great, man. Tell them, what's the name of the movie, Isaiah?
Behind the Movement.
Behind the
And I
Movement.
think I almost got fired because I was fighting for the title.
Oh, what
They
was
wanted the title to be I Shall Not Be Moved. And I said,
Oh, no.
oh,
No.
No.
That's a Tyler Perry.
I said, no. Man,
I ain't about to mess your Tyler Perry checkup, brother. I know. We're going to have you at Monday at 7. I ain't about to mess your Monday at Monday.
We gonna have to put
We're
a
gonna,
muzzle on
he's going to be
your
the
ass.
dark-skinned villain in the Madea movie who's whooping the wife's ass. and then Christopher Williams gonna come and save her.
You know, seriously, though, you joking,
Yeah.
but that's the truth. Tyler's mad at me to this day
Oh, why?
because I turned that movie down.
Which what he actually
Diary of an Angry whatever with
Black Woman?
with
That's
Kimberly
such
Lease.
a good movie.
Wow.
I did-
He wanted you to be the black.
He wanted to be the husband, and
God
I
damn.
jokingly said, "Look, I think I'm gonna play this doctor over here. You know what I mean? I'm looking to play. I'm tired of thugs and the thugs with a heart and the slick shit. I'm trying to like raise my game here. I cannot be beating on the Cicely Tyson of my generation.
Yeah.
I can't do that movie
because you can't get it off you.
because I'm gonna do it well.
Yeah,
People gonna be mad at me for real.
Yeah,
They're gonna be like
They
they
was mad at that guy.
they're gonna be mad at me for real.
People were mad at Lawrence Fishburne for a long
Right.
time. Yeah.
I
I'm still mad at that
jokingly
motherfucker.
said, you need to, because I just had a meeting in Atlanta.
Okay.
And I jokingly said to Reuben Cannon, who was the casting person and producer, I said, "No, just go to Steve Harris. He just finished he made a lot of money off the practice. You know, he's looking for movies.
Yeah.
And that's who they went to.
Oh wow.
Steve Harris took the role.
Wow.
So I tried to help, but I wasn't going to be in it.
I'm glad
That's
you
good.
did.
I'm glad you did.
I'm glad
That's
you
how I
didn't
fuck
take
with
that
Isaiah.
role.
He picks and chooses
Glad
his role.
you
You
did.
don't
Grey's
see
Anatomy.
Isaiah doing no real stupid shit.
You
in
got
a
I
movie.
got the nerve to be picky and choosy, blacklisted like a motherfucker, and still got the nerve to be picky. Picky on top of it. Always been picky though. That's what people don't know.
And let's go to that Grey's Anatomy controversy, brother.
Yeah,
that
what's
whole
that?
Grey's Anatomy thing. How did all that bullshit start?
You're probably gonna find out this year. That's all I say on that. And this has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
That's how God works.
Amen.
Wow.
Has nothing to do with me. But the one thing I will always stand by, and the old thing I will always say, no matter what, when you're standing on truth never changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lie changes every day, every week. That narrative keeps getting more different. It keeps changing.
Yep.
But the truth, I never said that, and that's the truth.
Right.
Now, anything else on that? Hey, that's everybody else. But I stood on my truth. That it didn't go down that way. And if I was fired, the funny thing about it, if I was fired, I'd be rich. Everybody else is getting fired, is getting $30 million, $20 million packages.
Yeah.
So if I was fired, I was like, I wouldn't be talking to none of y'all. I'd got my $40 million and been out the door if I really did the crime. You know, those people that are doing crimes are actually getting paid out the door.
They get cashed out. Yeah.
Don't have to go.
Yeah.
So there's something that's going on. There's a thing called racism, even in bad behavior.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Are you still cool with Shonda Rhimes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. I mean, I went back. People want to forget that.
Yeah.
Went back in 2000, May 1, 2014 for the fans. It was like a holiday for them.
Okay.
People want to say what they want, but I went back. But she had been wanting me to come back 3 years prior. It's just that I was mad. I was like a black woman. You know?
You became an angry black woman.
I was like a black woman. I was like a black. I learned from a black woman. It's like, you know what? No, I'm still mad at you.
Oh yeah.
I'm still mad at you.
hold a little grudge
Maybe we
for
could
long.
date. Maybe we could date later. Maybe you could call me in 3 years. But right now, I'm still hot.
Speak on. He know us.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's like,
yes.
you know,
Know
you didn't.
us.
I put all
Yes.
this good work in, Love Jones and True Crime. I put all this good work in with you, and this is how you do me. I was mad. I ain't gonna lie. For 3 years, I was mad because she wanted me to come back much earlier, but I was mad. I was like, I'm out. My feelings were hurt.
Of course. As
You know,
they
my
should have
feelings
been.
would hurt. It's like I've tried to do everything but make people, men of color, particularly be strong, intelligent. Even when I'm playing a bunch of thug roles, I tried to make them interesting.
Right.
I've done all the right things. Hell, I wasn't even smoking weed when I was on Grays. You know what I mean? I was clean as a whistle. My nickname is Mickey, like Mouse. You know what I mean? I was doing all the right things. So,
Man.
but the good news is that, you know, what you do in the dark will always come to light.
Oh yeah.
And whatever happens, even if it does happen, people will go back to this interview and go, oh. Or if it doesn't go down, they go, like, well, he just talking shit.
Yeah.
But if it does, you'll come back and you go, oh.
I'm nosy. I can't wait.
You know what I mean? And it has nothing to do with me. That's how good God is. You know what I mean? But the truth always comes out.
Now,
always.
So the new movie, we're talking about stuff that happened behind the scenes in the civil rights movement, particularly with the Montgomery bus boycott.
Yeah.
What's your character?
Man, okay. I was so head over heels with the script by Katrina Ogilvy.
Okay.
Formerly Katrina Andrews. She was a wonderful playwright, but an amazing artist. I can't wait to collaborate with her again. I want to tell or at least my version of telling the Fannie Lou Hamer story next.
Yes.
I think that the script was just absolutely unbelievable. And what I like about how I choose my projects is that, one, they have to scare me.
Yeah.
They have to take me out of my comfort zone and make me jump out there. Like, I've done a lot of work. I've been blessed in my career. So I've done a lot of work. So what is going to make me challenge me? What's going to make me go to the gym today?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I didn't know Meta Golden. I didn't know her work. I know it now. She plays Rosa Parks. She's apparently a big character from Hunger Games. Meta Golden.
Okay.
There's Roger Guinevere Smith, who we all adore.
Okay.
There's Loretta Devine in it. Eric Avellino, who's the director, he did a movie called History of the Gun years ago. He's like a Sundance baby, extremely talented director.
Yeah.
The script, Kathy Hughes is behind it 100%. We want to take a page out of the Netflix book and do a limited release it to AMC theaters across the nation in 10 markets.
Okay.
So people can go to the theater and see it on the big screen.
Okay.
But will already have it, obviously, on the platform of TV One. Same thing that Netflix does.
Exactly.
So it can qualify for 10 days. It can qualify for, hopefully, the industry. The performance are fantastic. All the new actors in Atlanta that got a chance to play Freddie Gray, who I didn't know who he was. Freddie Gray was also winning the case against the Tuskegee syphilis. He was also on the team hoping that Rosa Parks would lose, but she did, so they can take it to the Supreme Court. Now, here's a strange thing. The Browder versus Gale case is what got the buses desegregated. It wasn't Rosa Parks' case. It's still wrapped up in the docket right now. But they wanted her to lose. Yeah. They needed her to lose because they already had 4 defendants prior to her. Claudette Colvin.
Yeah, and that's the one we talked about.
So we talk about her.
Okay.
Yeah, we give her just due.
Yeah, because for those who don't know, she was she had a baby underage, and the civil rights leaders, they said, okay, we don't want to put her out there in the media in the forefront.
They would rip her apart.
So they were strategic about
it's the most strategic thing. And the thing about this Edgar Daniel Nixon, the guy that I play, he outlived everyone. He outlived Martin Luther King. He didn't outlive Rosa Parks, but he outlived Raymond Parks, who's an activist as well, Rosa Parks' husband.
Yeah.
He was so wealthy working for the George Pullman Company as them
porters.
As a sleeping car porter.
Yeah, they made a lot of money.
He was a part of the sleeping car porters. So my proudest moment in the movie is putting on that sleeping car porter uniform.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to tell you the scene.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, a lot of folks don't know back
the
in the
power
day,
he had with A. Philip Randolph.
Yeah.
They were the 2 masterminds behind the Montgomery bus cloud of 1955.
Yeah, and for the audience, a lot of folks don't know that there was a lot of money in the black community put behind it. It took money to really fund a lot of stuff, and the porters were the ones making a lot of money because these brothers worked.
And they traveled across the nation, had access to other wealthy people across the nation.
And they would ear hustle, learn stocks, bonds, savings, and all that, and they would use that stuff and build up their money. So it's a very powerful thing.
He owned his own house in the cradle of the Confederacy in Montgomery, Alabama. He had been trying to desegregate Alabama since the 30s. He was born in 1892, died in 1986.
Okay.
I mean, this cat was amazing. He was amazing what he did. And they grew to dislike him because all he was saying is like, why is the narrative going, how y'all leaving me out? I put all this together. He was the one that made Martin Luther King at 26 the president of the Montgomery Improvement Association in Alabama against his wishes.
Because Dr. King didn't want to do
Dr.
it.
King was like, look, hey man, I just got to Montgomery from Birmingham. I'm y'all got some serious issues here. I just want to, I got 500 parishioners. I'm just trying to build my. And he says, no. This is what you're gonna do. And A. Philip Randolph, who just won the big case with Roosevelt, had all the power politically for getting the sleeper car porters and that big labor relations unionized.
Yeah.
So he had all this power. So it was Abernathy. All right, Ralph Abernathy, that had a relationship with Edgar Daniel Nixon and said, well, I got the perfect person. You got the perfect woman now.
Yeah.
You need the perfect man.
Yeah.
You need the perfect team, the face.
Yeah.
And they said, who? And he said, this guy named Martin Luther King Jr.
Man, you know, Dick Gregory talks about.
Yeah.
Dick Gregory talks about
beautiful
that.
story. It's kind of like Hidden Figures.
Yeah, you know, Dick Gregory talked about how on the bus, what they would have to do, they would have to pay in the front, then get off the bus, and then walk around to the back to get on. And in the back of the bus, what would happen, you had mostly these women who were domestic workers.
That's correct.
Right. And you had the white dudes would flirt with them.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
That's the thing.
That was the thing. And Rosa would be like, fuck that. Fuck them. I ain't flirting with no damn body.
Yeah, she worked for Edgar Daniel Nixon as his chief secretary when he was the first president of the NAACP in Montgomery, Alabama. They bombed his house. He went to jail more than anybody. But no one could touch him because he didn't make his money there. And the people that liked him were independently wealthy liberals that had their own money.
Yeah.
That happened to be white and just wasn't feeling the racism that was going down. So they never could touch him. He lived to be 80-something years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He and the only thing he wanted is I'm happy to be a part of is to set the record straight.
Yeah.
And tell his story. I mean, and you talk to anybody in Alabama, the murals like Che Guevara and Malcolm X, and Biggie now, it's of Edgar E.D. Nixon.
Oh, yeah.
He's their Malcolm X.
When is the movie coming out on TV?
February 1 on TV 1.
February 1st, Black History Month.
Yeah, and actually, you know, we start the rest of the press, we start talking about it more and more, but I wanted to give you the first one.
Yes, indeed.
You know, because I know you were mad at me.
No, yes, indeed. So and shout out to TV One, even though News One, the people at News One, y'all wrote some bullshit about me this week, but it's cool. I'm promoting the movie. News One wrote some bullshit, but it's cool. Shout out to TV One. You dig? I want the movie to be very successful because this is my brother right here.
Oh, this is different. Like I did, the Under Shepherd was highly controversial for them, and they released it on Easter Sunday. I was doing another movie called Blackbird that I produced with Patrick Ian Polk, and I had to literally lay down in the back seat of the car because all the jackleg preachers were pissed off with me.
Oh, damn.
Because they was like, it was airing a dirty linen. How can you play this horrible person to be a preacher? You know, all this misogyny, all this adultery and this fornicating abuse. And now they got Saint Sinners. They got Greenleaf. They got all kinds of shows talking about the black church now. But again, I like doing things that are risky. I like taking projects that are literally 50-50, societally speaking, that I think that this either is going to be a huge failure socially, but in time, it's going to be a classic.
Have you ever worked with Denzel?
Almost.
Okay.
Great Debaters. Almost. I was supposed to play the role that he played. Eventually, he was just supposed to direct.
Okay.
But by the time we were getting ready to go into production with that, Harvey Weinstein really wanted me in it. Oprah wanted me in it. But then all my Grace controversy blew up, so I was out.
Because you're a real powerful actor, and I don't see too many black powerful actors in movies together. You have a powerful actor, and then you have a comedic one.
Because I'm unlike me, some of the mindset is that we will cancel each other out, and that we will hurt each other in the market.
Okay.
Because then people will see that, oh well, maybe he's not as strong as we thought he was, but we don't like him, and we do this. It would get confused in the market. I don't believe in that. Larry Fishburne doesn't believe in that. Sam Jackson doesn't believe in that, because we all start off as character actors. Okay. You know, but you have to understand, to be a leading man and be a man of color is a very hard thing to hold on to. Yeah. It's a very hard thing to be bankable. You know, so you don't want to mess up. A lot of people out there that are not of us, they get confused real easily.
Yeah.
You trying to say
so people walk up to you. Oh my God, it's Peebo Bryson.
Maybe say he Tyler Perry.
Yeah, we think Tyler Perry.
You know, it gets confusing. So they don't really want to have to think. It's not, so if you just want them to pay the money, man. Yeah, pay the money, man. Go see the movie, man. You know, just go see the man's movie. And then you put Denzel Washington, Isaiah Washington. That's confusing. That's confusing. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Are they cousins? Are they brothers? But they don't look like. Don't make it complicated,
Yeah,
man. That's why
yeah.
you'll never have a black Hollywood, because white Hollywood is still a work in progress.
Yes, yes.
It's still in infancy.
Now, what would be your
You know.
what would be your dream role, Isaiah? What would be your role that you would think that just really
Playing Dr. Guyon S. Bluford, the first African man to go into space. He's still alive, and I swear by the time I play that character, I'll have a gray hair and probably I look like a dead ringer for him. And I don't know what his story is. I got 8 hours of his story. He has no story. He doesn't believe he was slowed down by racism at all. He was in Vietnam. He had many flew the F-4. I worked as a crewman on the F-4 Phantom, and I mean we have so many parallels.
Yeah.
But before I get off this planet, I would love to portray Dr. Guyon S. Bluford, the first African American to go into space.
Oh wow, wow.
Where did he go? Did he go to the moon? Did he go to?
No, they were in the Challenger, like a Challenger. So they were orbit for I don't know how many days. It's been a while with his
Just
story,
days? They weren't up there for a while?
but no, it's like
They
a
were
month.
Months, right?
Yeah, like
Now,
a
when was
month.
this?
But
When was this?
Oh, this was in 80, I think 81, 82.
Oh wow.
And he's the very first.
The first African American to go into space. Before
Wow.
Dr. Mae Jemison, Ron McNair, who blew up in 86.
Right, I remember that.
Unfortunately, I remember that.
Yeah.
You know, but
Wasn't
yeah.
his sister on that one too that blew up?
No,
No,
it
no,
was-
no,
no.
that sister wasn't. Okay. I know.
No, it was a teacher.
Okay.
Kristen McAuliffe at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
It was really, that was crazy because I was working as an engineer at the time and remember sitting when we had fax. You didn't have emails. It was like you only had a fax.
Yeah, yeah,
machine.
yeah,
You could,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, facsimile. And there was problems with those seals then, and I was screaming about them then, and nobody wanted to hear it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that whole thing messed me up in January 1986. One of the worst years of my life.
Yeah,
that's
that was
for sure.
crazy.
Yeah.
Now, Isaiah, what would you say to a young kid who's coming to Hollywood and they're like a black kid is like, hey, I want to break into the industry out here. I want to act. What advice would you give him?
You have to be willing to do it for free.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You have to love it. I mean, you have to love it when it's painful. I mean, really, really love it. And it's really difficult. People ask me this on social media, and I have mentored so many people on Facebook over the last since 2008. Many have gone on to do very well with my advice. And
Yes.
feel free. It's not about that. It's just talking.
Yeah.
But I've held on to a lot of them because I don't know what is the best advice in this climate.
Okay.
You got reality shows. You got Mimi Leaks that are making millions of dollars just starting off. How do you tell some young person that they can't make a whole lot of money just being themselves now?
Right.
That doesn't require acting.
Right. Right.
So how, because at the end of the day, invariably, I'm still going to be an outsider to them. I'm still going to be someone with a platform.
Yeah.
No matter what, I'm still going to be someone that has access to them. So I have to be very careful on what I say, because if it doesn't work out, then I'm at fault.
Right.
Isaiah said,
Right.
and it didn't work out. Well, I always say, one, you really got to be honest with yourself. Not only do you have the stamina, are you really talented in this particular field? Maybe it may not be acting. Maybe it may be producing. Maybe it may be writing. Maybe all three.
Right.
Don't limit yourself. But I always do everything in 10 years. I talk about that in my book. I do everything in 10 years. So the average person business model is like, oh, if it doesn't work in 5 years, they're out.
Yeah.
Well, I go, no. If you really believe in it, give yourself 10 years. And if it's not popping in 10 years, then you know
It's out.
that is not out. But maybe because you've been actively working in trying to get into that arena, you may have found some other people, other relationships, other contacts that you could probably build and create IZM Tariq Nasheed Presents.
Right. Right.
You see what I'm saying? You have enough talent that you could just create your own.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that as opposed to wanting to act or wanting to try to build your own thing.
Right, your own
whatever it
platform,
is.
right.
We have so many levels, so many ways to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we do.
You
Now I
know,
feel like you
and
don't
do it
have to wait.
well, do it poorly, but you can get it done. So don't rely on a system that systemically is not trying to support you.
Exactly.
They are indifferent.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I've already made that very clear. Love me, hate me, but indifferent, I'm scared of that.
Man, Isaiah, where can people find you online? Y'all gotta follow my brother online. Where can they find you, brother?
Oh, I'm always on Facebook. I'm verified with the little blue check. So don't ask me, is it really me? That's a quick way to get blocked. I'm being compassionate in the new year.
You like Bree.
But for
I
me
know.
in the DM to message me, it's like, you see the big old verified. Like you got about 12,000 Isaiah Washingtons on here. And there's one with a blue check that means verified. So being you are a newbie to social media. If I'm telling you I'm verified, and I put it in quotes, and you still, are you sure? Well, why would you want? You're never sure talking to anybody on the internet.
Exactly.
But I'm at a more vulnerable to you because Facebook thought it was cool to let you know it's really me by verifying me.
Yes.
so
is
on Facebook and
on Isaiah Washington Facebook, I am Isaiah Washington on Twitter, right?
I know the real Isaiah Washington on Instagram.
Okay, the real.
And just at I Washington on Twitter.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Layla, what you got going on this weekend, dear?
What do I have going on this? I play it by ear, but I did go to the Hamilton concert.
Yes.
Not the concert, the play.
The play.
I loved it so much. It was like most of the New York cast. It was really
Layla
fun.
balling
but
out.
But let me tell you what I did though, Tariq. I fell down the stairs.
Clumsy
In the
as
middle,
damn
I
hell.
swear it was the longest. I'm not even lying. I swear to God. I'm like, I know somebody got that on video. I thought I was looking
Did you
cute.
fight it or did you give into it?
I just get that's
Did you
how
give into it?
I gave
Because when
into
you
I
fight
gave
it,
into it.
no, when you fight it,
It makes
just
it
when you
worse.
get hurt, it makes it worse.
I was so embarrassed, like the girl with the
But just
track.
go with it.
I was so.
How long did it
embarrassed.
take?
I was on a date. I was on a date, and he was
You
like,
went first
I went first. My head went first, and then some of my
Hilarious.
head.
and you gave into it.
Yeah,
Lord.
and
Okay.
he was
This
trying
is-
to catch me. It was just a
Oh, my
mess.
God.
I thought I was looking cute.
Embarrassing
But I
the
can tell
family.
because you're not in a cast or anything.
No.
I
my
can tell
knee
when some.
scraped. My knee scraped. Though.
I can tell when
Damn.
people try to fight it.
Exactly.
It's not. I can look at people when people try to fight a fall on the stairs.
Yeah, I
It's
just
never
let it go.
pretty.
I let it go.
Yeah, you
Now,
gotta let it
Layla,
go.
what's your Instagram? You let people know how to find
It's
you.
at Miss Layla Lopez, so MSLAILALOPEZ. And I got something coming to Reek this year.
What you got coming?
I got a calendar coming out. It's
Oh,
not out yet.
Damn.
But I'm almost done. I've been working on it for 2 months.
Oh, good.
So
Good.
yes, I'll let you guys know. I'll promote it on Instagram.
Yes,
whenever.
we cannot wait. Bree, what is happening with you this week, dear?
Work like a Jamaican. I ain't doing nothing but working, y'all. Anybody want to save me from working every day?
We need some captains
Lord.
out there with the cape flapping. She's
All I
tired.
do is work every day.
She needs
At
a
work.
strong man
That's funny.
to really put the cape on and make it easier.
Anybody want to say?
You don't even have to be a brother. If you're a nice little Mexican man
No.
who has the fetish for a little thick chocolate.
No. Y'all always trying to set me out, y'all. That is not what I meant.
Bree, what is your Instagram, dear?
I'm at It's Bree Small. It's very straight to the point. It's Bree Small.
It's Bree
Check
Small.
me out.
Yes, indeed. Y'all don't be thirst trapping Bree.
Always.
They are.
Always thirst trapping. And y'all know to find me at Tariq Elite on Instagram, Tariq Nasheed on Twitter. We are Isaiah, where can we get your book, ma'am? You mentioned your book. Where can people get your book?
Oh, well, that was interesting. I had a deal where I only wanted 5,000 copies to be printed. And someone's greater wisdom, they decided to print out 18,000 copies at the last minute. So it didn't become a bestseller. I thought that was some sabotage. in my mind. So it's very difficult. I found out that they burned about 3,000 copies of my hard copy. But after digging and threatening to get, litigious, I found out that there's more money in pulp and paperbacks.
Right.
So it's going to be very difficult to find on Amazon.com in paperback.
Okay.
Because I just don't know how many copies are left.
Was it through a publisher? I mean,
Yeah, one of the biggest. Hachette.
Hachette. Who's that was Simon & Schuster? Or?
They're up there bigger than Hachette. Yeah,
Oh, wow,
Hachette,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was pretty big.
Wow.
But I think that if a lot of people don't really like it, they're like page turners, but you may have to get it on iPad, get it as a digital.
Okay, yeah.
So digitally, you can get it digitally easily.
Yeah, y'all get your Kindle version.
Yeah, Man from Another Land, Amazon.com.
Cool. All right, you guys, we're about to be out of here, man.